One thing I want to understand about being this accomplished of a mixed martial artist, your mind is very focused. Your body has to be very focused. But how do you prioritize training? Like, how do you prioritize the disciplines? Because this is a completely different concept, right? It's a rule set. It's the environment. Like, how would you go into that year or those 2 years of holding all these different belts and figuring out where you want to go next?
So basically,
seems like a lot.
I was 13. Let me start from the beginning. I was 13 and I had this really shitty job. And that period, I only had a job like a week, but that really ignited a certain fire in me to become independent, to beat the financial system, well, then I had my brother, 4 years old. He was fighting, had the respect, his own car, his own apartment, money always. So I kind of followed in his footsteps. Now, basically, I just kept on full focus. Everything I knew, every little button I could twist towards victory, I would do. And I was just in focus mode for the last 30 years. That's it. So, and then in the beginning, you're learning stuff in the sport. Later, I was looking outside of the sport. And that's also where all the longevity stuff came from. So, but what was your question again?
Just the way you would prioritize training and the disciplines.
Everything was maximum priority. Maximum. So, everything I knew. Sleep, train, eat, go train over there, go train over there. Yeah, just
I think it's more so like striking to grappling, going back and forth. You just take it for what it was, obviously. Who are you worried about in the grappling sense? I guess a lot of them are because you're crossing back from...
The opponent then was actually Verdum.
Verdum, but
yeah. You know Verdum. Yeah. So Verdum just beat Fedor, and he was the man. And then they came up with the tournament, and I was in the tournament. Verdum was in the tournament. Bigfoot was in the tournament. And then I had to make an adjustment because I just did kickboxing for the last year and a half, full-fledged, not really ground. And then I had to transition, and that was a little bit tense and exciting period because then you're fighting the best on the ground because Verdum is really good.
You're sweating him a little bit?
Even in the stand-up, he's good. Yeah, listen.
Because you bitched him around that fight. That's the fight. That's the fight where he was flopping all over the place, right?
It looked that way.
That was pathetic.
But there's like
pathetic.
so many...
Verdum's coming on the podcast.
Pathetic.
So many details in that fight because Verdum is truly an excellent fighter. But somehow I just was onto him that fight. And I was able to kind of every time disengage and make him look really bad. But he came in with a very strong plan. He actually outstruck me in that fight. I mean, it's not power strikes, but he outstruck me, broke my rib.
Oh, wow.
Right? And let's look at what happened after. Because what happened after, I couldn't continue in the tournament. So then I got fired, right? Or cut, released.
Wow.
Then I signed with UFC.
Scott cut you?
No. Not Scott, Dana.
Oh, he brought the organization, right?
Wow.
Dana cut me twice.
They cut? No way.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize he implemented that cut.
What was the second time he cut you?
That was 3 years ago. That was UFC. So first Strikeforce, but he cut me, and then I re-signed with the UFC.
But he cut you to sign you with the UFC. Right?
I don't know, because back then there was like a lot of moving parts. But the management team, they had a lot of guys in Strikeforce. We didn't have anybody in UFC, and I think there was some kind of power struggle going on with Bas Boone, Ron, who now is deceased, and Dana. And then Dana was like, boom, and they just released all of the Team Golden Glory guys.